Greetings, Masandawana. Greetings, Liluna Mapagania. I am back with another installment here, the Yellow Corner. For those who are watching for the first time, my name is Tabiso Aizomutlung. And yeah, the Yellow Corner is a Sundowns supporters YouTube channel where we preview all Mamelodi Sundowns Football Club matches. And this time I am bringing you the big one, the preview of our biggest game of the season so far. We'll be traveling to Escotini, Orlando Stadium, to take on Orlando Pirates in the MTN 8 semi-final first leg on Saturday at 3 o'clock. And like I said, I'm here to bring you that preview. Just finished watching press conferences building up to the game for both coaches, Coach Abdesalam Modo as well as Coach Miguel Cardoso. And I must say, guys, I being a coach is not a snip up and melt me. A friend of mine, last year I started doing my studies, performance analysis in football. And a friend of mine said, "You love football so much. Why don't you do coaching badges?" I said, I do not have it in me. I do not have it in me to be a football coach, man. So I'd rather be on the background. And yeah, I have no thing is ambitions of becoming a football coach. And having just watched those press conferences, man, I'm glad. I'm glad I stuck to my performance analysis in football, man. I watched the Awado first, and yeah, no, you can tell he's feeling the heat. He is definitely feeling it, man. You could tell by his answers, they were very brief, to the point, and he didn't want to elaborate, and his body language as well, man. You could tell he was not as bubbly as when he arrived, So yeah, no, the last two defeats have done him bad. And then I watched the Cardoso after that, and yeah, man, he was, I think, more free, and he gave long answers when need be, But yeah, he was a bit edgy with some of the questions, When he spoke about who's this guy who just left Sundowns now, man? True. Yeah, the short guy from South America. I'm forgetting our players. Yeah, those who are watching for the first time, I'm gonna say I'm not a Matthias Esquivel. Yeah, no, you could tell already there was a bit of tension there, But yeah, moving on. Before I get into the preview, I just want to touch on our first home game, Betway Premiership this season, where we were able to beat Amazulu 2-0. I think in the first half, man, it seemed like a continuation from the game Ronale Chippa United over the weekend, but I think the second half we saw a much more improved performance, because honestly speaking, the first half there was nothing to write home about, but the second half we saw a lot of quality, and I thought Arturo Sales as well as Tashik Matthews were just brilliant, man. They were brilliant on the day, especially in the second half, So I thought a well-deserved win, There are issues here and there that I was not happy about, how we are not clinical, to be honest, and when we got chances, as well as this I saw in the first game against Chippa, first league game against Chippa. And I saw it again against Amazulu on Tuesday, how we struggle with the ball behind, how teams easily transition against us. And it is a worry for me, it is a worry. And that the rest defense needs sorting out, because every time they played that ball behind, we're in 6s and 7s, So against better quality sides, you will definitely get punished, Before I start on I know I said that just not so long ago. Before I start or delve much into the preview, I want to give credit to a certain Sundowns player and a true legend of the club and the league, Peter Shalulile. A lot has happened in the last few weeks with regards to Peter, man. Few months actually, with regards to Peter, man, no longer the main man up top, and not getting enough minutes as you'd have loved to. I mean, he got 0 minutes in the CAF Champions League final second leg, man, when he needed a goal. He got 13 minutes in the FIFA Club World Cup, and yeah, man, that must be really, really frustrating and difficult to take as a professional player, And I know someone will say, but he gets paid a lot of money, but at the end of the day, he's human, man. I'm sure anyone who is to find himself in the same situation as Peter would be disgruntled, And there've been rumors of a potential move to Esperance de Tunis, And if that move doesn't materialize and he has to stay another season at Sundowns, not being the main man, you can only imagine what that will do to him. But what I've seen from Peter, I've seen a true professional. He epitomizes what a true professional is, He's the same Peter as he was when he was playing. Still leads the team in song and prayer. He's there to support his teammates, When we played Chippa, I saw him giving advice to Ikram Renas, and not a lot of players would do that in Peter's situation, So for him to still be doing that, he's not sulking or anything. So my head off to Peter Shalulile, man. They do not make them like Peter anymore, man. And yeah, man, whatever happens, he will remain there to us. When he was about to be brought on was it Tuesday, Wednesday, the crowd just went crazy, So that tells you a lot about the love that we have for Peter Shalulile, man. So I just wanted to say that, because we really harsh to the soccer players a lot of times, We all of us, by all I including myself, man. We're playing Pirates, so moving on to the preview. We're taking on Pirates, like I said, and the question is it the right time to play them, right? Is this the best time to play Pirates or not? And I think it is 50-50 for me. I think it is both a yes and a no. Yes, in the sense that they haven't started the season really well, so they're not doing well currently, and there is pressure, like the pressure that Pirates are under, more so their new coach, man, is massive pressure. And the fan base, man, Leon, you go to social media, you check YouTube, they are not happy, Mapagania, So in that aspect, yes, it is the perfect time to play against them, because you prey on that, like them being not so confident because of the pressure, that they are currently under, And then on the other side, I'd say it is a no. Why do I say that? Hey, man, Cup games and Category A games are tricky, We played Chiefs, struggling Kaizer Chiefs in the Nedbank semi-final last season. Everyone thought we were going to beat Chiefs. We all thought we were going to beat Chiefs, but it wasn't to be. And we lost that game. Yes, controversial or not, we lost that game at the end of the day. So form at times goes out of the window when it comes to these games, category A games, and they are a wounded animal, and that might spell danger for us. So I would have preferred to face them when they are not underdogs like this, so when they have form, carrying some form coming into this game. And the other thing, man, with Pirates is that, hey, man, they've given us a hard time in recent history, Modi Cup games. In the league, 9 out of 10 times we mopped the floor with them. Yes, they beat us in the last league game, but before that, we had been mopping the floor with them. So yeah, in recent times, man, we've struggled a bit against them in these cup competitions. So yeah, it is a yes and a no for me. We'll be coming up against a former player of ours in Sipho Mbule. Does Sipho Mbule have a point to prove to Mamelodi Sundowns or to football lovers in general, and will he try to prove a point on Saturday facing his former team? But you know, I don't think so. I don't think Sipo has a point to prove. Sipo is a very talented player. We all know that. I don't think there's anyone who can say Sipo is not talented. And yeah, I don't think there's a point to prove. There's nothing that Sipo can or will do on Saturday that will shock me. Yo, can't they out here about ball also? No, I've seen the best of Sipo. You know, yes, things might not have worked out the way he would have loved during his spell at Sundowns, but I don't think. I think Sipo has a point to prove to himself in terms of taking this chance that Pirates have offered him after the last two moves, Zahai at Sundowns and Skukune, not really working out. You know, yes, he played Skukune, but there were still those issues that I don't want to get into. You know, but so I think he has a point to prove himself and take this opportunity. You know, and remind everyone of Sipo and show why most of us respect him so much. And I doubt he will go there trying to prove a point, because in so doing, he'll only be putting himself under tremendous pressure and maybe end up not having a good game on the day. Before our game against Amazulu, our coach Miguel Cardoso uh, obviously did a pre-match interview. I think it was with Supersport. Yeah. And he spoke about our star player, Lucas Ribeiro Costa, in past tense. I'm just gonna quote what he said when asked about Lucas Ribeiro Costa. Man, he said, "Lucas was a very important player for our team, not only by numbers but by the way he was able to put the team to play. Basically, meaning making the team play. You know, and." Yeah, I think it is clear now that Lucas will be leaving the club, you know, so it's time to move on. How do we then move on? Do we go and look for a player that is like Lucas, that plays exactly like Lucas, or do we find a replacement, yeah, Lucas in house with what we already have at Clock, or do we try and find a solution, yeah, the goals and then the creativity, yeah, that Lucas had, but in a different way, you know, like from different players? Because I'm gonna start in house Sales. Sales has shown that he has numbers for days. He has shown this 3 games into the season, he already has a GA of 3. You know, so the numbers are there. He will always give you the numbers, Sales. Ne? And you go back to last season, he in all competitions he played 42 games, not starting a majority of those games. Keep that in mind. And I'm also including the FIFA Club World Cup when I speak of all competitions, and he gave us a GA of 19. That's very good, man. Most when you take into consideration or he didn't start a majority of those games, you know. But can he also give us this thing that Cardoso mentioned of making the team play, you know? I don't think he's like Ribeiro, you know. Maybe sometimes, you know, these lanky players, Rabanyata, ka skill at times, you know, but I don't think he's like a Ribeiro in that aspect, you know, where he can draw more than 2 men to him, you know, and make extra space somewhere, you know. I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe he can go into that now that he knows that he probably has a lot of responsibility than when Ribeiro was there, you know. But he doesn't strike me as that type of player. With regards to the numbers, I think he will continue to give us the numbers, you know. So do we then now go out there and look for maybe a proper 10, a very creative player and a player that can give us both GA, goals and assists, make the team play, be creative in that final third around the zone 14 area? Or do we do, or do we do what Liverpool? I support Liverpool, so I'm going to reference them because that's the team that I watched the most after Sundowns. Do what Liverpool did. Liverpool, for the longest time, used Trent for his creativity a lot. I'm not saying that's the only way they only relied on Trent for creativity, but he was a major part in terms of the assist. Even though his numbers were not so good last season, but his assists are crazy, up there with, I think, in the top five, if not number three in the defenders all time in the EPL. Liverpool replaced that creativity trend with a proper number 10 in Florian Wirtz. Can we do that, Leroy, instead of looking for someone who is exactly like Ribeiro, who will score and assist like Ribeiro? Can we find ways in and around the team, to replace Ribeiro in our system? So I would like to hear your views on the comments, Masandawana, with regards to this. How do we replace Ribeiro, basically? And please bear with us, guys. I know at times we do not respond to on the chats on our what do you call this YouTube channel. Life just gets in the way, Sometimes we upload the video and we, and eventually, in a way, end up ignoring social media and ignoring YouTube in terms of being in terms of interaction, So please, retshwareleng for that, So yeah, but I'd love to hear your views with regards to this subject, man. Moving on to what we can expect from this game, from my perspective, I'm gonna start by quoting Pirates assistant coach Mandla Ngazine. He said this on their Doki Giants on Super Sport and Mzansi Magic, I think, this past Sunday. He was talking about Mamelodi Sundowns. I think it was leading up to the second game of last season, the one that they beat us 2-1 in them. He said, when you play Mamelodi Sundowns, do you go for the obvious plan that they're expecting, or you tweak the plan a bit and surprise them? And I look back to what Pirates has done in the past, and it has worked for them when they played us. I went back to the final year Nedbank the season before last, 23-24, Rulani's last game. They came with a different lineup, and that surprised us, like Shape Yabona, because Rele and Mabasa didn't start. Rele was the guy at Pirates. Mabasa, I think, was top goal scorer in the league that season, and that might have caught us off guard, Not saying that's the only reason that Pirates won, but that they did that. Last season, when we played them in this game that Mandla was talking about or leading up to, they came a back 5/back 3, And I won't be surprised if they do something that will maybe catch us off guard, I do not know what they will do, but I think Mandla, because he was there last season and the season before last, he might say to Ado, no, let's surprise them. And maybe in them surprising us, they might bring back their main lineup or main players from last season, because we've seen that a lot of them or some of them have not been playing this season. So maybe, and with the pressure that Wado is under, he might, he try and save his job and say, what, let me bring back the tried and tested, Even though the tried and tested might say, don't so now that you are under pressure, you wanna play us, So I think I just wonder what they will have up their sleeves in this game, And I think this game will be won or decided by the wide forwards of both teams. Not necessarily. The midfield battle will play a crucial role in deciding this game. But I think the wide forwards will be more crucial in this game. And if our wide forwards, Salas and Matthews, play the way they played against Amazulu in the second half, I think we'll have the upper hand. And I need Tesh to play the way Tesh played when he joined Sundowns pre that injury, man. The way he played against Amazulu, he reminded me of that Tesh, And on the other hand, yeah, Pirates, they have a bit of a predicament, Pirates. They have two very good players, two very talented players in Mufukeng as well as Oshwinapolis. But the issue that they have is that both guys, their preferred position is left forward. They want to start there and then cut inside and hit you like that. But they have the club has in a way is forced to play both of them, and one has to play on a position that is not his preferred position. I know the professional players. If you're a professional player, you must make do of what is in front of you. Show that you're a professional, even though you are played out of position. But everyone wants to play where they are comfortable. And I think this has affected Pirates in a way in terms of their attack, because Apollos has been playing on the right in most of the games, and he's not been playing his best football there, like you look at the chance that they got on the break in transition against Skukune last weekend, and he was facing Cardoso, but the issue is that he was on the right and he tried making an angle for himself, but in so doing, he was drifting away from goal, and then he tried to come inside, and then that's where he lost the ball, But he switched the ball to Relay, and it found Relay where Apollos would have loved to have been, and Relay almost killed the ball into the back of the net, So I also picked up that he tries and at times move from right forward, coming to the center space, and then the half space, the left half space, and that's where he looks dangerous, like he'd move from where he normally starts and then tries and come to where he knows that he can cause damage. We saw with the goal that he scored against Polokwane in the MTN 8 quarterfinal, how he drifted from right center and then left half space, and he did that again against Skukune last weekend, coming from the right center and then half space, linking up with Radio Pani in both occasions. It's just that in the game, Kukune, the ball went a bit further to the side and he played across, So I think that's where the game will be decided, and I hope that our boys bring their A game, Mbogazi, man, Pirates play a lot of javelin, man. If you watch game Yabonale Gallants, you would see that they play a lot of javelin, those long balls behind the defense, the opposition. And a lot of those come from Mbogazi. And in that game, their goal against Gallants came from that situation where Mbogazi played a long ball. He found Hoto in the half space. Hoto found Tito in the 18, and they scored. And they did this against a side that played a low block. My worry is that we don't play a low block. We push up. We press high. If Mbogazi pings that ball and finds his men behind us, they might hurt us. That is my worry going into this game, because I saw against Chipa, I saw against Amazulu, teams can get at us in those type of situations. Speaking of Mbogazi, Mbogazi is a brilliant player. We've seen that he's not even one for the future. He's one for the now. He's damn good, man. He wins. He's strong on his jewels, and he's a proper player, man. Can help the team progress with the ball from the back by either playing a long ball or, breaking lines, so he's a damn good player. But at times, youthful exuberance kicks in where he wants to do way too much at times in terms of progressing with the ball, taking risks and playing, driving through the middle of the park, and he was dispossessed in such a situation against Sekhukhune. And if that happened against a better team, not to say I'm undermining Sekhukhune in any way, but if that happens against a team like Sundowns, they are most likely to hurt you in that situation. I think we need to lure him into thinking that he can play out, set that type of trap, and if he falls into it, we punish. So yes, he might have done this when they were trailing and chasing the game, but this is not the first time I've seen him do it. He at times ends up closer to the opposition box, and like there's a situation again in that game, Sekhukhune, where had gone up and he was on the right side, if I'm not mistaken, and Sekhukhune played the ball out, and you're like, hey, if Sekhukhune were not just sitting back and they had people up there, they could have had Pirates, So I think we need to try that, In the press conference, Wado, he said CBC is injured, and if they play Mashilwane at the right back, the way he's played, I have not been impressed. And Siema at the right center back, I think we should target that side and try and overload that side, and I need Tesh to go at this Mashilwane, constantly go at Mashilwane, even if say in the first two instances he loses the ball, but don't stop going at him. Drive at him, put him under pressure, the fan base, they've been putting him under pressure, so use that to your advantage. So I think we need to overload that side and try and head them, Both sides were not clinical in their last games. Pirates against Gallants, they got a lot of chances in the first half that they didn't take, and so did Sundowns in the second half. Game Rona that we didn't take. I need us to be clinical to win this game. Lastly, there's Pirates is under pressure, and when Pirates is under pressure, the fan base put the players under pressure. You can sense the pressure in the stands, and it boils down to the players. Like the easiest thing, simplest thing, China would have the ball and look at options. They'd want him to play the ball, So Sundowns needs to put Pirates under pressure in this game, like go at them from the word go so that it spills in, like from the stands, it spills into the pitch, Going into the lineups, I will start the same lineup that started. No, I'm lying. I will start Williams. I'll start Dunyelo, right back Cupido, right center back Yekana, left center back Mudiba, left back. I know some would say Lunga, but I feel like the Pirates right side might be the weaker side in this game, and I need someone like Mudiba who can help the team in attack, forward-thinking player, and then in the middle field. In the last game, we played a single pivot at Debza and 2 8s, Zwane and Allende. I want us to play with a double pivot in this game and Zwane just in front of them so that he can drift everywhere he wants to go, where he sees opportunities where he can head Pirates, maybe when we overload on their right side, he goes there, he will link up well with Sales, if he sees that he wants to go to the left, man, overload their right, which is our left, and then Sales on the right Yarona, so he can go there and link up with him, And away goal is important, guys. Let's get before I'm doing this alone. Sales and Matthews, and then Reyners up top. I think it will be a 1-1 draw, and which will be good for us, I think, because an away goal is very, very key. In the past, we went there, semi-final, MTN 8 a few seasons back and played a 0-0 draw, and then they dropped us in the second leg. So we need an away goal so that they know that they need to open up and come to play next week in the return leg. So I think it will be a draw, 1-1. good luck to the boys. Good luck to the technical team. Make us proud, guys. And yeah, all the best of luck. Like I said, the next preview will be of our Betway Premiership Game Week 3 fixture as we travel to Seshego to take on Magesi next week, Wednesday. So the preview will be on Monday. Until then, sharp, sharp, Masandawana.